is one of my favorite topics, how to promote your products or services on social media without sounding like a bragging narcissist. In this video, I'm going to show you what's the right mix of non-self-promotional to self-promotional content and what types of self-promotional content feel less braggy to your audience and how to craft your self-promotional content so it's less braggy. And if you take all of this advice, in the end, you'll be like, I can sell without sounding like a braggy narcissist. And stick till the end for a power tip to make it even easier for you to find non-braggy content to share with your audience, because you're going to need it. It starts right now. Hey, I'm Brooke Miles, and I'm a social media strategist in Delaware. And no matter where you live, if you're a business owner or entrepreneur or marketer, I'm here to help you create a social media program that not only gets results, but you can feel proud of. So now, how do you avoid being braggy? Let's start with what is the right proportion of non-self-promotional to self-promotional content. For a long time in the social media world, there was this 80-20 rule. In other words, 80% of your content should be non-self-promotional. In other words, it's educational, inspirational, or really anything that doesn't talk about you. And then the remaining 20% can be self-promotional, where you promote your company's products and services. And that rule is good and can work for some businesses and organizations, but there's some major wiggle room. Let's look at nonprofits. If you're a nonprofit, you can get away with something closer to 30-70. And that's right, 30% non-self-promotional and 70% self-promotional. You might think that's a whole lot of self-promotion, and it is, but a best practice for nonprofits is to share lots of success stories, because they need to share with people that when they donate their money, it's going to something that will produce good results. So you need to leave a lot of room for success stories, and frankly, success stories are about other people's happiness, and they're not braggy. Now let's move up the scale a little bit, and let's say you're a for-profit business and your products or services are very visual. Maybe you're a photographer, or you sell handcrafted pottery, or you're a caterer, because we all love looking at food even if we can't eat it off your timeline. Now, regarding non-self-promotion to self-promotion, you can get away with something closer to 50-50, because frankly, your products or services are more interesting than other people's products or services. And if I just insulted anyone else out there, I apologize. I'm just trying to be honest, and you know what? I'm trying to build a relationship here, and honesty, we need to be honest. So if you have a type of business that is very visual, when you're sharing these visuals, you're bringing joy to other people. And really, that creates value, and it's not as braggy. Now let's continue to move up the scale, and let's say again, you're a for-profit organization, but your products or services are a little bit on the duller side, but there's always a lot of cool stuff going on within your company. Maybe you do a lot of community outreach, or you attend a lot of events, or there's just a lot of humanized content going on that you could share. Then you could do something closer to 70-30, 70% non-self-promotional to 30% self-promotional. And that's because humanized and feel-good content doesn't feel as braggy, and I'm going to go into more detail about this very soon. And moving up the scale, if you don't fall into any of the preceding categories, then 80-20 is probably good for you. And you still need to have some self-promotion, because you have to remind people that you're in business. Now let's get more into detail about the types of self-promotional content that won't seem as braggy. This is so powerful for your social media, so let me give you some examples. The first one are team member spotlights. This is where you give a shout out to one of your employees and include their photo, of course, with their permission. I actually covered this in a little bit more detail in a recent video, so in this video's description, I'm going to include a link that will show you what exactly I'm talking about and how you would craft that description. You can also do a spotlight of one of your clients or customers if your business allows for that and your clients or customers would allow for that. This is a fantastic type of self-promotion, because you're not saying we care about our customers. You're actually showing it by posting about them and showing how great they are. And let's keep on talking about spotlights, because we're on a roll here. You can also do a nonprofit spotlight. Maybe do that once a month for a nonprofit that your company supports. Another thing you can do, which I alluded earlier in the nonprofit section of this video, is to share success stories, but you can do this if you're for-profit as well. Share how you got a customer or client from point A to point B. This type of post is self-promotional, but it doesn't feel that way, because you're bringing people into a story and into a journey. And frankly, you're adding a whole bunch of credibility to your company. I mean, really, what's better? Saying the words, "We provide world-class services," or showing it? Also, if you participate in community events or community outreach, and this tip will be a whole lot more relevant once this pandemic thing is over, then share those types of posts. They are self-promotional, but they're less braggy. Now, just to be clear, I am not saying that you should never have a post that directly asks people to buy your products or services or schedule that free consultation. But what I am saying is to have more of your self-promotions focused on success stories and humanized content. Now let's talk about how do you craft these posts so they sound less braggy. So as you know, having observed human nature for however many years you've been on earth, people who are braggy focus on themselves. Ergo, when you do need to write posts that are a little bit more salesy, don't focus your words on yourself, but focus your words on your reader. Let's say you're a chiropractor. And by the way, I know chiropractors can do a world of good. I just don't see chiropractors because I don't like people touching me. The key is, let's focus. Okay, let's just focus back. Focus. Anyway, a braggy chiropractor would say something like this. We're a comprehensive chiropractic practice that offers first-class services to our patients. Blah, 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 blah. Now let's see what non-braggy looks like. It focuses on the reader. If you suffer from chronic pain, our mission is to give you back your life without unnecessary surgery or painkillers. So you see the difference here. In the second version, you're pulling readers in and sharing with them that you want them to have an awesome success story. You want to get them from point A, which is chronic pain, to point B, which is getting their life back. It's implied that your work is first class, but when you focus on your audience and show that you want them to succeed, it's not bragging, it's compassion. Now for the power tip. Earlier, we talked about how a portion of your content should be non-self-promotional. And a lot of that non-self-promotional content can come from third-party articles. For example, I'm often sharing content from third-party sources about social media marketing or marketing in general, sometimes copywriting tips. But sometimes it can be a challenge to find the freshest content out there. Let me give you a tip that'll make it really easy. So go to Google and type in the topic you want to find an article about. I'll go ahead and search for Instagram marketing tools. Now here I got my results, and some of them go back quite a while, and in the social media marketing world, you really need to have stuff that's recent. So here's the trick. Make your search time-based. At the top navigation bar, go to Tools, then Anytime, and then the time frame you want. And I'll choose articles within the last month. So when you do a time-based search, you're sure to always get the freshest content to share with your audience. Now that you know how to sound less braggy, your next step is to understand how you can get more engagement from your followers, especially if your posts tend to fall flat. So check out this video in the top right corner. It offers lots of advice. It talks about Facebook, but really it can apply to all your social media. You'll like what you learn there. Thanks, and see you in the next video.